listen. Click that notification. Give us a huge thumbs up. Now I'm going to be passing it to Aaron the Star.
It is Aaron. Alright, so before we get started, I'd like to begin with a prayer. Everybody close their eyes and bow their heads. Dear Lord, I want to begin off and saying thank you for bringing us into your holy house one more time. We are grateful for having you as our God and for looking over us. We would really appreciate it if you can continue looking over us, dear Lord. We thank you for all the stuff you ever did for us, God. Lord, we just ask if you can please continue watching over us and keep us from illness. Dear Lord, we love you and we'll always worship you. Amen.
Amen.
Alright, before we get started, I would like to give a shout out to all my relatives and people that take their time out of their day to watch this video. If you have a Bible, please open it up. The reader today is going to be Ethan.
Today we're going to be reading Numbers chapter 29 and chapter 30. Chapter 29. And in the 7th month, on the first day of the month, ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do none servile work. It is a day of blowing the trumpets unto you. And ye shall offer a burnt offering for a sweet Savior unto the Lord. 1 young bullock, 1 ram, and 7 lambs of the first year without blemish. And their meat offering shall be of flour mingled with oil, 3 tenth deals for a bullock, and 2 tenth deals for a ram, and 1 tenth deal for 1 lamb throughout the 7 lambs, and 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering to make an atonement for you. Beside the burnt offering of the one and his meat offering, and the daily burnt offering and his meat offering, and their drink offerings, and according to unto their manner, for a sweet Savior, a sacrifice made by fire unto the Lord. And ye shall have on the 10th day of his 7th month an holy convocation, and ye shall afflict your souls. Ye shall not do any work therein, but ye shall offer a burnt offering unto the Lord. For a sweet Savior, 1 young bullock, 1 ram, and 7 lambs of the first year. They shall be unto you without blemish, and their meat offering shall be of flour mingled with oil, 3 tenth deals to a bullock, and 2 tenth deals to 1 ram. A several tenth deal for 1 lamb throughout the 7 lambs, 1 kid of the goats for sin offering, beside the sin offering atonement, and the continual burnt offering and the meat offering of it, and the drink offerings. And on the 15th day of the 7th month ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work, and ye shall keep a feast unto the Lord 7 days. And ye shall offer a burnt offering, a sacrifice made by fire, of a sweet Savior unto the Lord, 13 young bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year. They shall be without blemish. And their meat offering shall be flour mingled with oil, 3 tenth deals of unto every bullock of the 13 bullocks, 2 tenth deals each ram, and of the 2 rams. And a several 10th deal to each lamb of the 14 lambs, and 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering. Beside the continual burnt offering, his meat offering, and his drink offering. And on the 2nd day ye shall offer 12 young bullocks, 2 rams, 14 lambs of the first year without spot, and their meat offerings and their drink offerings for the bullocks for the rams. And for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner. And 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering beside the continual burnt offering, and the meat offering thereof and their drink offerings. And on the 3rd day 11 bullocks, 2 rams, 14 lambs, and of the first year without blemish.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
And their meat offering and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, for the lambs, shall be according to their number after the manner. And 1 goat for a sin offering beside the continual burnt offering, and his meat offering and his drink offering. And on the 4th day 10 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year without blemish. Their meat offering and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number, after the manner. And 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering beside the continual burnt offering, his meat offering, and his drink offering. And on the 5th day, 9 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year without spot, and their meat offering and their drink offerings for the bullocks. For the rams and for the lambs shall be according to their number, after their manner. And 1 goat for a sin offering, beside the continual burnt offering and his meat offering, and his drink offering. And on the 6th day, 8 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year without blemish. And their meat offering and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number. After the manner, the 1 goat for a sin offering, beside the continual burnt offering, his meat offering, and his drink offering. On the 7th day, 7 bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year, without blemish. And their meat offering and the drink offerings for the bullocks, for the ram, and for the lamb shall be according to their number, after the manner. And 1 goat for a sin offering, beside the continual burnt offering, his meat offering, and his drink offering. On the 8th day ye shall have a solemn assembly, ye shall do no servile work therein. But ye shall offer a burnt offering, a sacrifice made by fire, of a sweet Savior unto the Lord, 1 bullock, 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year without blemish. Their meat offering and their drink offerings for the bullock, for the ram, and for the lambs shall be according to their number, after the manner. And 1 goat for a sin offering, beside the continual burnt offering, and his meat offering, and his drink offering. These things ye shall do unto the Lord in your set feasts, beside your vows and your freewill offerings, for your burnt offerings, and for your meat offerings, and for your drink offerings, and for your peace offerings. And Moses told the children of Israel according to all that the Lord commanded Moses. And Moses spake unto the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel, saying, This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded. If a man vow a vow unto the Lord, or swear on an oath to bind his soul with the bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceedeth out of his mouth. If a woman also vow a vow unto the Lord, and bind herself by a bond, being in her father's house, and near her youth, her father hear her vow, and her bond wherewith she hath bound her soul, and her father shall hold his peace at her, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand. But if her father disallow her in the day that he heareth, not any of her vows or of her bonds wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand, and the Lord shall forgive her, because her father disallowed her. And if she at all an husband, when she vowed, or uttered out of her lips wherewith she bound her soul, and her husband heard it, and held his peace at her in the day that he heard it, then her vow shall stand, and her bonds wherewith the bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband disallowed her on the day that he heard it, then he shall make her vow what she vowed, and that which she uttered with her lips wherewith she bound her soul of none effect, the Lord shall forgive her. But every vow of a widow and of her that is divorced wherewith they have bound their souls shall stand against her. And if she vowed in her husband's house, or bound her soul by a bond with an oath, and her husband heard it, and held his peace at her, and disallowed her not, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband hath utterly made them void on the day he heard them, then whatsoever proceeded out of her lips concerning her vows, or concerning the bond of her soul, shall not stand. Her husband hath made them void, and the Lord shall forgive her. Every vow and every binding out oath to afflict the soul, her husband may establish it, or her husband may make it void. But if her husband altogether hold his peace at her from day to day, then he establish all her vows, or all her bonds, which are upon her, he confirmeth them, because he held his peace at her in the day that he heard them. But if he shall anyways make them void after he hath heard them, then he shall bear her iniquity. These are the statutes which the Lord commanded Moses between a man and his wife, between the father and his daughter being yet in her youth, in her father's house. That was reading of chapter 29 and chapter 30.
What happened, Chloe?
I want to go first. I want to go first.
Okay.
I got the page.
Okay, so Chloe, as usual, we have the discussion. Obviously, something stood out to you, so you wanna go first. Okay, let me hear you, Chloe. What stood out to you?
What stood out to me is 30.
Chapter 30.
Yup.
What verse?
Verse. The verse is verse. Wait, where is it? Verse 3.
Verse 3.
Yeah.
And what does verse 3 says?
Verse 3 says, when a young woman still living in her father's household makes a vow to the Lord or obligate herself by pledge. So what stood out to me is I had two of them.
Okay, let's stick to number 3, Chloe. What stood out to you in number 3?
What stood out is woman. Why did it say woman?
Why did they say woman? Because they're talking about woman.
Oh, I'm gonna explain it in brackets. They said woman because they're talking about a female gender.
Okay, so they say woman because they're talking about a female gender.
Yes.
Elaborate more.
I don't understand. I don't understand what you want to elaborate about.
If a woman vows a vow to the Lord, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so give me some more explanation.
I don't know. You asked me what a
And
woman
binds herself by a, what's that? A pledge?
By a pledge. Wait, so it says when a young woman still living in her father's household makes a vow to the Lord or obligates herself by a pledge.
Okay. In mine it says, if a woman vows a vow to the Lord and bind herself by a pledge while within her father's house in her youth. What stood out to you in that right there?
Well, nothing stood out to me because that was not my verse.
Yeah, I know it wasn't your verse, but let's talk about that a little bit.
Oh.
What would you key in on in that right there? If a woman vows a vow to the Lord.
So what I would key
So what is this? If a woman vows a vow, what is that?
Kind of like if a woman makes a promise onto another promise unto the Lord.
So if a woman vows, so if the woman make a promise,
Yeah.
so she vow, so a vow is a promise, right?
Yeah, to me, that's what I think it is, a promise.
That's what it is. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's exactly where your phone at.
My phone is.
Which phone is yours? The red one?
Yep. Red is
Go on.
my favorite color. Yep.
Alright, look it up. Tell me. What is a vow?
Okay.
What is
What
a
is a
vow,
vow?
Ethan?
Something that you state that you're gonna do, and you have to keep or abide by it, or however long.
A vow. So a vow is something that you should
Something that it's like a promise.
exactly.
Can you repeat what you said?
A vow is a promise or an oath.
Exactly. And what is a vow?
Or oath or a promise.
So she make
An oath.
a vow, right?
Yes.
A vows and a vow.
No, the vow and
So she made more than one?
more than one vow.
A woman make a promise to the Lord. That's basically what it's saying.
Well,
To bind herself by a bond. Basically, always.
there's no two vows in here, but mine just says when a young woman still living in her father's household makes a vow to the Lord or obligates herself by a pledge.
Where are you at? We're on 3.
Yeah.
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 I'm 29 or 30.
30.
Yeah, it says if a woman also vow a vow unto the Lord.
Yeah, I'm on 32.
Aaron, This Bible.
Oh, it's for Chloe's. If a woman also vow a vow unto the Lord and blind herself by a bond being in her father's house in her youth. Wow, that is completely different.
That's completely.
It's okay. So we get the answer though, right?
Yeah,
A vow is a promise. Okay. All right. So let me hear yours, Aaron.
Okie dokie. Now let me just get back to the page. So, mine is chapter 30 of Numbers, verse 5. But if a father disallows her in the day that he heard,
Slow it down, Aaron. Slow it down. Come again.
but if her father disallow her in the day that he heareth, not any of her vows or of her bonds, wherewith she hath bound her soul, shall stand, and the Lord shall forgive her, because her father disallowed her.
I'm listening.
Oh, so what stood out to me in there is, well, kind of says to me that the father, right? He didn't really approve of the woman getting married.
That's not what it's saying.
So what do you think it says?
Well, it's saying it right there. Let me hear you, Ethan.
It's saying that if a man do not accept your vow, the Father, God, will forgive you. That's basically what it's saying.
How you get that? Because it says, but if her father oppose
It says
her on the day that he hears of it, no vow of hers, no pledge, by which she has bound herself shall stand.
And what did you say?
And the Lord will forgive her, because her father opposed her.
What did you say?
I said that the father disallowed her from getting. The father did not want her to get married.
You could use that word that you used before.
Disallowed her.
Disallowed. Look up disallows. Let me see the meaning of it. Let me make sure you're using the right word.
What is the meaning of disallow?
I'll tell you about talking to that phone.
Sorry,
That's why you type so slow.
I'm a fast typer.
Let's go. Let me hear the answer.
Refuse to declare valid.
Refuse to declare valid.
Valid means good.
Valid mean approve. Valid means, as you say, good. Valid mean okay. Valid mean permission. Right? All of those. Right?
TikTok,
It's
yes.
just talking about marriage. Was that specific thing?
No, this whole entire chapter.
Is
chapter
the whole-
30.
Aaron, the whole thing is about marriage?
No, the whole thing is about vows.
Exactly, but did that say anything about marriage?
But where do you see anything about marriage?
No, I didn't see nothing about marriage.
Because on 6 it says if she marries a husband. So it is in the realm of talking about marriage.
Yeah, but I'm talking about number 5.
5 doesn't say anything about marriage.
That's what I was saying.
But this whole chapter 30
It's about
is about marriage. It's about vows.
It's about vows, not marriage.
But in 6, it does says,
But
it
that's
says
6.
if she marries a husband while under her vow. So it is talking about marriage.
That's talking about her vows, what she wants to, or what she makes a promise to do, what the father disapproved. Did not talk about no marriage there.
But it said married, it says,
That's 6.
yeah, in 6.
5 is before that.
I know it didn't say that in 5. But what we're trying to get to is, can you ask Aaron if this whole chapter is about marriage? What did you...
reread it. But if her father disallow her in that day, in the day that he heareth not any of her vows, that doesn't mean marriage. It means any type of vows. Or of her bonds wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand, and the Lord shall forgive her, because her father disallowed her. It's not talking about marriage. It's just talking about vows in general.
Yeah, Ethan, but you're complicating this thing now. Because if you read 6,
Daddy, you can't go ahead if you're talking about something before. You can use before evidence, but you can't use evidence.
but the chapter is talking about marriage, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's not what that specific paragraph is talking about.
I understand that specific
Marriage could fall into it. But if you're really trying to say that specific paragraph is about marriage and the father not accepting that would be wrong.
but the words that they use in here is all indication of when a person is getting married.
I'm gonna read it again, Daddy. Look, but if her father disallow her in the day that he heareth not any of her vows. Vows is not only for marriage. You can
I understand that, but under this that we are reading, Ethan, when I look at this, it's talking about marriage. I understand that you said you can go to 6, because we're not talking about 6. But this whole entire chapter is about marriage.
But he's talking about that specific paragraph. In that specific paragraph, it's not about marriage.
You know, the way how I interpret Ethan, I don't know how you are interpreting it, but the way how I interpret this thing, we are talking about marriage in chapter 6. You have different verse throughout chapter 6. It's going to lead up.
No, that's the paragraph. No, that's the verse. Verse 6.
We are on chapter 30, right? We have verse 5, right? Verse 5 didn't say about specific words, marriage. Okay, we understand that. But this whole chapter 30 is talking about marriage. You the one who just read it. So when you read it, it didn't say, isn't it talking about marriage? If you should start reading over again and pay attention from start to finish, isn't this whole chapter about marriage? Okay, Ethan, I guess we're going to have to read it again. Read from chapter 1 again. Let's start reading again.
And Moses spake unto the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel, saying, This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded. If a man vow a vow unto the Lord, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceedeth out of his mouth. If a woman also vow a vow unto the Lord, and bind herself by a bond, being in her father's house in her youth, and her father hear her vow, and her bond wherewith she hath bound her soul, and her father shall hold his peace at her. And all the vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand. But if her father disallow her in the day that he heareth that any of her vows or of her bonds wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand, and the Lord shall forgive her, because her father disallowed her. And if she had at all an husband when she vowed, or uttered out of her lips wherewith she bound her soul, and her husband heard it, and held his peace at her in the day that he heard it, then her vows shall stand, and her bonds wherewith the bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband disallowed her on that day that he heard it, then he shall make her vow which she vowed, and that which she uttered with her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, of none effect, and the Lord shall forgive her. But every vow of a widow and of her that is divorced, wherewith they have bound their soul, shall stand against her. And if she vowed in her husband's house, or bound her soul by a bond with an oath, and her husband heard it, and held his peace at her, and disallowed her not, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she bound her shall stand. But if her husband hath utterly made them void on the day he heard them, then whatsoever proceeded out of her lips concerning her vows, or concerning the bond of her soul, shall not stand. Her husband hath made them void, and the Lord shall forgive her. Every vow and every...
Ethan, stop. What have you been reading so far?
This is not about marriage. None of this is about marriage, if you read it.
Go ahead.
You understand, right?
No, or
Because look what it says. And if she had at all an husband when she vowed, we do not know if she's talking about marriage when she vowed, because in the beginning it was talking about God.
Your husband. Okay, so it started off in the father's house.
She's in the text. It says, if a woman also vow unto the Lord. So they're vowing. The vow is not about marriage. It's about the Lord. She's vowing her soul. You know how we get baptized? That's basically,
okay.
That's basically
so she vowed to say walk the road of God, then per se, right? She walking in God's way. Put it that way. Right? You look puzzled. Put it in your words then.
Me, I'm basically this. What to me this is saying, this whole thing is saying is that if your father hear that you are giving up your soul to God, and he disallow it, God will forgive her, because it wasn't really. She made the choice to give her soul up, but her father disallowed it, and her husband, and the God will forgive her. That's basically what this text is saying. It's not talking about getting married or any of that.
Okay, you might have a point right there. I like how you explained that just now. You might just have a point right there. Because I hold on, Aaron. I really like that way. I like the way how you said it just now. That makes sense just now. That definitely makes sense just now. That definitely makes sense just now. Let me hear you, Aaron, but that makes sense just now. That's why I asked for explanation. Sometimes you might see one thing, and as we talk, that's why explanation is always good. Because one person might be seeing something different, but the way how you explain it just now with the text, I could agree with you on that, without a doubt. Let me hear you, Aaron.
Verse 2 and 3. If a man vow unto the Lord, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceedeth out of his mouth. If a woman also vow unto the Lord, and bind herself by a bond, being in her father's house in her youth, and
He just answered it. He literally just said it.
That's what I'm saying. You definitely have a point right here. That's why I said we had to reread, because if we look at 5 and then I jump to 6, to me marriage would be what we would be talking about to me. But that's why we have conversation and we get explanation. That's why you have to explain yourself. And as you explain yourself, I see clearly what you're saying too. So you corrected me right there. And that is cool. I love that. You understand? This is how, what they teach you guys in school? Evidence and support.
It's claim and evidence.
Claim evidence.
Claim,
Claim.
evidence, and reasoning. CER.
What's the words?
CER. Claim evidence and reasoning.
Claim,
Evidence
evidence,
and reasoning.
and reasoning. Claim, evidence, and reasoning.
State what you're stating and then have evidence to back it up and then explain why you.
You see? You just did that right here. You understand? Congratulations. That was excellent. Give him a round of applause.
I'll give it an A+.
Good job.
Okay.
All right. That was excellent. All right. Moving on. All right. Who's next?
He took my number 5. Because.
That's what you was going to talk about too?
Yeah. Yeah, I knew you were about to say that. It was about marriage. I was like.
All right. No problem. All right. On that note, that was very good. I like that just now. Excellent. Excellent.
Wait a minute. But I didn't get to explain why I picked 1 and 2. I picked 1 and 2 because it said that if a man vow unto the Lord or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, and you normally do that with marriage, right? You swear an oath unto the Lord because if you swear an oath unto the Lord, if you break it, you're going to hell. And the woman also did the same thing, and you do that at marriages.
No, you vow to be with your mate until like life or death, and you wouldn't do certain stuff and stuff. I don't know.
But
like,
you have to swear an oath unto the Lord, right?
No, not everybody believes in God if they still get married.
You have a point right there. That's true. Not everybody believe in God and they do get married.
You don't put a vow. You don't vow unto the Lord.
And not everybody make a vow either.
Yeah, not everybody makes a vow. They could just get married.
Some people don't. Not everybody go the traditional way. You know, till death do us part and all of these things. Sometimes they write their own vows. But nonetheless, it's a vow. It's a vow. Right? So, I mean, but when you're vowing, you're not vowing to the Lord, you're vowing to your partner.
Yes, not the Lord.
Not the Lord wouldn't come into that play either, though.
No. Oh, wait, what? For what? To this?
Yeah.
No, to marriage, it wouldn't play a part. When he was saying with marriage, it wouldn't play a part to that. But in this is talking about giving your soul to God, which is bad.
Yeah, because if you read number 1 again, Aaron, read it again.
Number 1 and number 2.
Go with number 1 and 2.
And Moses spake unto the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel, saying, This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded. If a man vow unto the Lord, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceedeth out of his mouth.
See? Read 3.
If a woman also vow unto the Lord and bind herself by a bond, being in her father's house in her youth.
You see? So, see, it is... You know, I can't wait to reach some other chapter in this Bible. You know why? Because with this vow, the whole reading about vow, I want to see if in the Bible it says anything about when you get married and the vow you take. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't wait to reach further in it. Okay, cool. Alright, well, Good job.
Okay.
I mean,
Good argument.
yeah, good argument and good evidence, and yeah, excellent.
Real man.
Excellent, excellent. All right. So my closing remarks. I'm gonna do my closing remarks, but that was excellent. If anyone out there find differently, please drop a note and let's discuss it. What happened?
I said I'm willing to.
Okay, and Ethan willing to argue his point.
You did a good job.
But I think he's on track. I think with that specific verses, he's on track. He actually convinced me, so yeah.
You're pretty hard-headed, so.
No, I'm not hard-headed. If you can't show me the evidence, then I'm not just going to take what you say. I need evidence. Without the evidence, I can't just swallow that pill. Anyway, closing statement, closing remarks. I just want to say thank you to you kids for your nightly reading, good or bad, through good or bad times. Just want to say I love you guys.
Love you too.
Even though y'all get on my nerves at times. But, hey, it is what it is. Just want to say I love you. And hopefully we could continue this for many, many, many months or years to come. I just want to say a big shout out to Miss Natoya. A big shout out to Miss Mert. And I just want to say a big thank you to all the first responders out there, from the grocery stores, supermarket, to all the from the ambulance to the respiratory therapists, doctors, nurse, CPA, if I'm saying it right, people who work in the nursing homes, the maintenance crew, janitor crew. I just want to say a big thank you. I just want to say a word of encouragement. Please, everyone, use common sense when we go out in the streets. Common sense is not so common, but please have some. I saw today, I'm going to share a little story. I went to buy gas. And while I'm at the gas station, you have multiple lines. The far left line, you have 3 pumps. And one was available. So the guy, one car was right at the end and one was at the front. And then the middle one was available. So the guy is passing to go to the middle one. This other guy was there pumping gas. The space is not that big. So he called the guy through to come through. So the guy proceeded. I was on the opposite side. And I could see that the guy was going to hit his car. And I could see the guy was going to probably hit him also, because the space was so tight and the back of the car was not fully straight. However, he called to the guy. The guy hesitated. He still called to the guy. The guy proceeded. As the guy is coming through, and I guess the guy who is pumping now realized that okay, this car is getting too close to me. But he can't do nothing because he's pinned between the two cars. The guy keep on going still. However, as the guy is going through, the guy seems like he ran over the guy's feet or foot. And he even bounced the truck. And it seems like he broke something off of it. Brand new truck. Nice. Denali. Open back. Pretty. And you had two females in the truck, and the guy was out pumping the gas. And you had, in the white Infinity, you had the guy and I guess a girl passenger in the front. The wife for the guy who was driving the truck jump out, start cursing, start getting on. And I just look at it and I shake my head. Why I shake my head is the stupidity in our behavior. Many times I go to that gas station and I'm on that same pump that the incident happened. And when someone is coming through, you know what I do? I leave the gas pump in the car and I move to the back of the car. Because I know the space is not that big and anything can happen. And I just look at it and I say, you call through the guy and you could have almost gotten your death. Just like that. Because of not analyzing the whole space. So I say that to say this. When you out there, take precaution. Like I always say, it's better to do the job right the first time than have to go over and do it multiple times. You know, and just be careful out there. Be careful out there. You know, because right now tension is high. You know, people is ready to fight. Fight mode is up like nobody's business. So just take precaution and please slow down. Tread soft. It might just save your life. On that note, you guys could close it up.
Alright. It's better to be safe than get hurt. On that note, good night.
Okay, Chloe was going to sing, but she's sleeping. Unfortunately, there's no song tonight. The singer sleeping, dead to the world. Good night, folks.